I do something called the 5-star shout out. I'm gonna say this line. I'm not gonna say it because I don't believe in it. I don't believe in you can't make a you know what I'm talking about.
Good morning, good morning. How's everybody doing out there? Happy Saturday to everybody. How y'all doing? 10 a.m. East Coast time. I don't know where it is anywhere else because I'm only on the East Coast. But again, I'm happy to be here on this beautiful Saturday morning. I'm here with my co-host, the Chocolate Girl.
Hey, Dennis. How's everybody doing out there? Today is Saturday, my favorite day of the week. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
It seems like I keep cutting in and out, so I just wanted to be sure. But, this is my favorite day of the week. So happy Saturday, everybody.
Okay. All right. We have a special guest in the building, Miss Keesha Gibson from Gibson Counseling and Consulting Company.
Consulting and Solutions.
Oh, my bad.
That's all right. That's all right. Good morning. That's okay.
It's crazy because the first thing kept going through my head was Keisha Grant. And I said, I got to stop saying Keisha Grant. That was the first thing that kept going through my head. I don't know why Keisha Grant kept coming in my head. I still don't understand that.
That's all right. That's all right. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Good morning. Sorry for messing up your business name. Let me get that out of the way. And I'm very grateful to have you here. One thing I want to ask you, ladies, though, was how was your week? We always start off with how was your week, and I want to know exactly how was your week. So for you being a guest, Miss Keisha, we would like to know how was your week.
The week was busy. My week had its regular ups and downs. For a small business owner, it was grinding, and I'm just glad it's Saturday.
Okay, all right. How about you, Chocolate Girl?
Yeah, it's been a challenging week, very, very busy week. So I'm glad and thankful it's Saturday as well. Long week, but a good one. How about you, Dennis?
I had a good week. This week was a good week. Only thing was, my sleep schedule was a little bit messed up because of the hour. The spring forward, I didn't expect it to come so early, but the spring forward had me a little messed up. But besides that, we went right into things and everything seemed to be okay. My first day back Monday was a little iffy, but after that, I was ready.
All right.
Yeah.
Looks like we lost Sharon for a minute.
Oh, she'll be back. Don't even worry about it. Let's get this thing started.
All right.
Now I want to know exactly how did you get started into the entrepreneurship?
Well, my entrepreneurial days started early, and it's kind of unexpected. I don't want to tell my age, but it was started back in the 90s. My entrepreneurial endeavors were it was a side hustle, and it was a side hustle for many years. Um, I worked for, I was in the nonprofit industry, and I was in the fundraising side of and manage the exec side of fundraising and of nonprofits, and realized how much the smaller organizations and the smaller companies were struggling. They were doing good work and working on great causes in the community, and they were struggling. And at the time, I was working in the Bronx, and for those of you from the tri-state area in New York, the Bronx is like was at the time, some things have changed, was one of the most underfunded cities in the city. So we had groups that were doing great work and, doing some great things, and, not able to get the big dollars that the organizations in Manhattan and other areas were getting. So I started working with them and helping them in the areas of grant writing and getting funding. And, like I said, side hustling and helping them in areas where they needed in their organizations. And up until 7 years ago, I decided, like I said, it was always a side hustle, so outside of my full-time work and the positions I've held. And up until 7 years ago, I was like, okay, I need to formalize this and, legitimize the hustle and do it full-time.
That's nice. Now, it's crazy that you brought up the Bronx, because usually when I talk to my New York friends or Jersey, and I had some New York friends that lived in Brooklyn but had to move to the Bronx. So I was like, oh, you live in the Bronx now? He's like, oh, don't tell nobody that. What you doing? Tell nobody I moved to the Bronx. And I'm like, what you mean? What's wrong with moving to the Bronx? Like, man, you moved to the Bronx, you can sit a pool. I said, oh, I ain't know that. But now they gentrified the Bronx now, so it's starting to come up now. So it's like,
oh yeah. Well, I'm not from the Bronx. I'm from Harlem. Do you know that?
Okay.
I worked in the Bronx. I worked in the Bronx, but yeah, I mean, Harlem experienced the same, pretty much the same thing. They're gentrified as well. So yeah, gentrification is.
And you've been grant writing since the 90s.
Yeah. I mean, I don't do it so much now, but because I have other things going on in the business. But that's how it started, with the grant writing and helping folks in the organization in order. Mm-hmm.
We had Go Getter Jay on the show, and she did so many things in grant writing that they gave her a car to drive around, and they paid for everything on it. Mm-hmm. That's the story that she told here on the show. That they gave her a car to drive around, and all she had to do was put gas in. They gave her a brand new car. I said, now that's some grant writing for it.
I ain't never heard of that before.
That's what I said. I said the same thing. I said the same thing when she said it on the show. I was like, you got a car? She was like, if something was wrong with the car, they would service it and everything. All I had to do was ride around and had these stickers on there, and all I had to do was gas it up. I said, wow. Well, that's it. Well, I'd like you to tell everybody the name of your company, because I butchered that earlier, and I want to say I apologize for that.
It's okay. It's Gibson Consulting and Solutions, and we do organizational development, business development, and coaching, business development, coaching, consulting, and funding solutions. We don't fund. We help folks get into position to get access to funding. And I also have partners that are in the funding space. So today, my company, we have about 15 partners that are called business partners that they're small business owners themselves. And we work with the smaller than small business, I call them entrepreneurs to mid-sized businesses. And we work with those businesses, our target population of those that are, owned and operated and led by people of color. But we help them get into, like I said, the position to, get the organizations and their companies set up, start up, and in position to get the funding that they need for their businesses.
That's good. That's good. And how long have you been doing it?
Like I said, since the 90s, it was a side hustle. But Gibson Consulting and Solutions was legitimized 7 years ago.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, where I'm doing it full time.
That's good. Now, what was like your first client back in the 90s when it was a side hustle?
Goodness, there were many.
Well,
There were many.
okay. Well, give me
Yeah,
a memorable client then, since it was so many. Give me one that was memorable.
Oh, I want to say there was a group, the very, very, very first group. It was a program, and the name leaves me. They were operating out of a school in the Bronx, and we helped them to get their just to be organized, right? To make sure that their files and like this the basics, making sure things were organized, and we wrote a few grants for them, and helped them to leverage the organization I was working with at the time. We were an intermediary funder. At that time, we provided teen pregnancy prevention grants. I'll show you how long ago that was, because they don't have that anymore. We're just helping them seek other funding other than the funding that we were providing for them. So, and it was a great program, and they worked out of a school. They helped many children. So, there were just so many things. That's what I learned then. There were just so many things about organization and having and being organized in order to get funding from that project, because they didn't have the time to do the work. There's the passionate movement and cause work that you do, and pretty much people, they start these organizations because they want to help the community, they want to do something, but the business side of it was I don't want to say neglected. They just didn't have the time to do the business side. And so that's when the idea clicked. This is something that's needed, for these groups. Someone, they don't have the money to pay, a grant writer, or, someone to do an event to raise money for them. So at that time I was doing it for free 99. And
Wow.
Yeah. And so, we've grown.
That is good to hear. Now, I know you've had a lot of businesses that you help consult and give solutions to, but people want to know exactly what businesses have you worked with, and which ones are, and it's a two-part question. Which ones are you looking to work with in the future?
Well, we work with different types of businesses. My background, when I started, like I said, was in the nonprofit and philanthropic world. But business, there's certain aspects and things of business that goes across the board and across industries. So, all businesses need that foundation work, right? That start up, making sure that they're organized correctly. If they're going to be a LLC, a C Corp, S Corp, setting up board members and making sure their organization is in order. That's across the board, right? And that's for any industry. So, but like I said, the type of businesses that we, prefer to work with are small businesses, maybe with budgets under 5 million, on the small side. Small to mid-sized businesses. With entrepreneurs, we work with those that have revenue generating, $100,000 or more, or if they're just starting. There is some kind of, there is investment that has to be made, when you start a business. So, but yeah, we look to work with, those people who are willing to do the work in starting a business. Because it's a lot of work and it's hard work. So we want those who are going to be committed to, building their business dreams.
That's good. Now people want to know in the comments, what services do you offer?
So we help with startup. If you're not in the position with getting business funding or loans, we have folks on the team that help with credit, helping you build your credit. The business funding piece, we do unsecured business loans. We do loans for real estate. We do organizational development, and that could be anything because it's customized to the company and what you need. So we also provide interim exec services for those companies that are, say they have a new position they want to put into an organization and don't have the system set up for that position. We go in, as that interim party to help set up those systems. We also consult the leaders of organizations, the executive directors, the founders. We coach and consult them, or their lead managers. And it could be, like I said, the work is customized to what they need for their business, to help them work on the business, not in the business. Because most business leaders, they're so busy working in the business, with hands on, that they don't have the time to work on it. So we help them work on it.
Okay, now we got a fan question coming in here.
Sure.
They want to know, when do you know you need a grant writer?
When do you know you need a grant writer? When you do your research, this is a part that, I tell folks when they're starting businesses, the main part that they skip is the research, and doing research for there. Some folks say, I need money, I need to get a grant writer. Grant writing is a service that's very targeted. So if you have a program or a project that needs funding, and you need someone to, do that work, not just write the grant, you need to have someone that also knows how to prospect and find those funders that are fit for your business or for your project. And you also have to be able to have the revenues to pay the person to do the work. We have a lot of people that want grant writing on a contingency basis, like, write the grant for us and we'll pay you when we get the money. We don't work on contingency. I know some folks that do, but it always winds up being an issue because the money comes in and folks need their money for their programs. And so they, the grant writer usually gets, the bottom end, the end of the stick when it comes to that. So if you have your budget, make sure you have a full budget to see how much money you need, and what areas you need funding, because you're going to have to inform that grant writer of everything that you need for that, for that project. They just can't come in and write something for you. So the work of prospecting, doing your research, knowing how much you need, and that way you can inform your grant writer and hire a grant writer to do the work for you properly.
That's good. That's good. Okay. Now, are you operating solo, or do you have employees?
I have one employee, and it's myself, and I'm my partner. So I have about 15 partners. Like I said, they're all business owners themselves. So we come together and collaborate to help the clients. So we're like the triage nurse, that comes in. We take a look at the business, see what needs to be done, and then we take bits and pieces of each, where we need help. So if we have a client that comes in that needs startup, help them with the startup. I have, an attorney that works with, that's on the legal side. I work with, if they're with nonprofits, I would work with them, directly. I have a bookkeeping, accounting consultant, a CPA. So if that nonprofit needs an audit done at the end of the year, board development, we all come together and we work together to help the client.
That's good. That's definitely good. It's like an all-in-one. They come see you, they can get everything done, and they don't have to worry about paying this person and paying that person. They can come right to you, one time, stop and shop. That is good.
And indirectly, we're, together as a team, we're helping each other's business grow, right? Because the clients that I bring in is everyone's client. So we all come together, and we work either contractually or hourly.
Now, was that difficult getting a team like that together, team of partners? Was that difficult?
It wasn't for me. I could just speak on my, experience. Right. I go by the vibe, and when I meet someone and we're talking and I see, okay, well, this person can help me do, this part, this project. And the partners that I bring on, I've met just through networking, and, if the vibe was there and it was right, I would, invite them to come along and, be a partner. And what we do in our agreement, we kind of outline what we can do for small businesses, in our own capacities. And a lot of the partners, they have their own small businesses, or they're working solo themselves. So when we come together, we bring something to the table so the client can have the best experience, that they can have. So it wasn't as challenging, because as we meet one, that person introduces you to someone else, and it's like, oh, they do A, B, C, D, and E,
Right.
I just knew that I couldn't do it alone. Which a lot of entrepreneurs, they feel that's like one of my, the things that I advise people: don't go at it alone, because it's running a business is hard. It's challenging. You can have ups and downs, and you need to have people, along that journey, because they're gonna move you. They're gonna, transition you to the next level. So if you don't know something, and I knew right on, I have certain capacities and expertise in different areas. I don't know it all. So I'm not an accountant. I'm not a CPA. I'm not an attorney. And these are the things that, small businesses need. So I bring those people in that I know can do the work, and know that they can do the work. I'm just not going to, refer you or bring someone to you just because, I know they do the work, because I also use their services as well. So it wasn't really challenging. I've been blessed to meet some really great people that, we just gel and work together really well.
That is I have to say that that was good. That was definitely good. Because I know it's like hard to get people to actually come together and be like, oh yeah, well you do this and I do that. So, we should get together. And that's how you think it's supposed to happen. But people got different egos and different avenues. It's like, no, you could still be solo, but I'm just saying, like, I get a client, I need I'm here for something, but if he need a lawyer, I go to you. You need
Right.
if they need their bookkeeping done, I go to you. You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I just didn't want to, I'm trying to spread this money around instead of going to somebody else. I got you right here.
Exactly.
It's always,
and I get, I there's money, there's money for everyone, and there's, I always say there's money everywhere. There's a client everywhere for everybody. You just have to find it. You have to do the work to find, that client or that market to buy your products or to do your service. But there's room for everyone at the table. People just have to come to the table with what it is that they do, and do it well. Right. So, my team, they're great. They're all experts, and they have their own clients. We all have our own clientele. But when it comes to really building an organization or building a company or helping someone, it's best to come in. When they come in, my client comes in, it's not working with me. They're working with myself and have access to, now 15 other folks, that have expertise in all types of areas. So I'm also helping the client build their network, because now you have access to these partners, who are also business owners and leaders themselves. So as a client, so you're getting help from people who've been there and done that. On average, each person that I work with have 10 plus years experience. So why come into the game and starting a business, with an empty plate, and you go somewhere and you have access to all of this stuff. So, but it's good. It's fulfilling. Still able to help folks. We don't do it, like I said, we don't do it for free 99 no more. But you get a lot of value to it. Bring a lot of value to the client. When you think about all the access and the information and the network that you have access to. So it's worth it.
Okay, now here's another question I got for you. How do you find your clients? That's what I want to know.
Well, we have the network, right? So my partners, they know if they're not in the nonprofit space, or if they're not in the organizational development and management space, and they have a client that they're doing legal work for or marketing work for, they'll refer. So basically it's mostly word of mouth.
Okay.
And we also, we promote on social media and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's word of mouth. good old word of mouth.
One of the chocolate girl go ahead and do her thing.
Oh, okay. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Miss Gibson, Miss Keesha. How did you how did you come up with the name for your business?
Oh, that's easy. It was always Gibson Consulting. It
Just your
was
last name, right?
his for last name.
Did you ever
And
have any thoughts to name it anything else, or you just wanted to stick with your name?
no, I just stuck with the name. When I was doing the side hustles, Gibson Consulting, and when I legitimized, I added the solutions to it because the plan was to bring in other folks, and bring in other partners that had other experiences and expertise, um, which makes up the solutions piece. So, um, yeah, it was always Gibson Consulting.
Okay. How well, one thing that we have not talked about yet is the fact that you have two sons, and
Yes,
you
ma'am.
are actually in business with your sons, which I think is
Yeah,
just so dope. That is the dopest thing on earth. Can you talk a little bit about their businesses and how
sure.
you guys are collaborating together?
Sure. So in 2020, in the height of COVID, started a business with my sons called RGP Enterprises. My oldest, Ryan Gibson. My youngest is Rasul Parton. So that's the RG and the P. Um, and basically, I wanted to start a business where they can do their thing, any of their interests or the things they wanted to, any of the brands that they wanted to bring out, product, service, whatever it is that they wanted to do, they would do it within the RGP enterprise. Um, and so, we had a lot of time at home during COVID. Um, and so, being an entrepreneur, the ideas were just flowing, right? We had like all these ideas of things to do. And so we just, we got the LLC, and we did some research on some things that we can do. So at my oldest started designing footwear, and his brand, and these are all trademark brands. We work on trademarks of all these. Is Atlas KTWS, and shoes are on sale now. If you go to rgpent.com, it'll lead you to the information about the business and what we're doing. So he has a footwear brand, and since June of 2020, he has released I want to say 6 designs so far. Yeah, 6 or 7 designs. If he hasn't released it, it's coming because he has some things. So he has some great footwear. Um, and they're his designs, out of his head, Italian made. And my youngest, he is, he's working on his gaming thing, but he's also kind of some of the brains behind, how things, the business part of it. And it was also a way for me to also, teach them business, and the back end of business, and, monetizing brands and things like that. We're also coming through with a vitamin and supplement line called Soul Biotics. That's coming soon too. We're excited about that. Um, and it's been a journey. It's been 2-3 years now, and things are built. We're building, slowly but surely building, and that's what I want them to come away with, being part of the process, part of the journey, and see how, their ideas can come to fruition, and how they can, make money off of those, ideas, and build from it. You can sell, you could, hold on to it, but it's yours, right? It's not until you decide.
Right.
But just for them to have that experience of seeing how an idea can, get out there into the world, and learn the different parts of it and how that works. And my oldest, we went through the whole trademarking process. right? That's a process, and it's an expensive process. That's not just something that you that you do. So he was, as we were doing it, he was able to witness how it works and the ins and outs of it, the meaning behind it. Learning from the Gibson consultant side, how trademarking works and monetizing, and so they could take that to the next level. So we're yeah, I'm excited about it.
Well, I know as a mother, it's one thing being a mother, but then you're kind of their leader too in business, and then you're the leader of the family.
Mm-hmm.
What is that like actually, striking out with your sons in business together? What does that feel like for you?
Right now it's fun. It's just fun right now because they're adults, So the, if they were younger children, I could see it, being losing my hair. But they're adults and they have their own lives, and so it's a way to kind of, as the kids get older and they have their own lives, the talking stops. There's more distance. You start feeling like some of the distance was that, they're doing their own thing. They're living their 20s and 30s. They're doing their thing. But it's our way of connecting too at the same time, on something, right? So not just family stuff, but also, connecting on something, and we're just making it fun, and what I told them in the beginning, like, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's not gonna, we keep it separate. We don't bring the family, any family drama, into the business part. That's what that is. Business is
very
business.
good.
Yeah.
So you set very good boundaries.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
That's very good.
Yeah.
Well, for those that are just getting started in business out there who may be listening, what are the first 5 things that they need to do once they decide they want to start a business? A lot of people you hear about, I'm gonna start a business. Okay, but you got to do some things. You can't just go start.
Yeah. And you have
people purposeful about it.
Yeah, be very intentional. You have to be intentional and want to do it. But the very first thing I always tell people, you got to do your research. You got to do your research, because if you don't do your research, you're gonna find yourself running, in that hamster wheel forever.
And when you say research, is it research about
the idea,
potential competitors? Is the idea out there already?
If the idea is out there already, who's doing it? Yeah, who's doing it already? Because there's, how many gazillions of people on this planet? You can guarantee at least 1 million of us have the same idea. It just may be a different color or, in a different location. Just, do your research and see, who's doing what, who's doing it locally, near you. Make sure, get your idea validated, because the idea could be a good idea, but it could just be an idea for a hobby.
Right.
And not a business. So, do your research and make sure that it's, if it's something that you love doing and you just want to do it and you don't want to make, the money's not a thing, to make from it. You just want to enjoy doing something. It's a hobby. That's fine. And I don't knock the hustle. It's just when you're ready to take that hobby or that idea and make it into a business idea, it's a different game. It's a different lane to be in. When you're moving it into a turning it into a business idea, into a business fully.
All right. So you got the research, and then what else do you got to do?
I think the research is going to lead you into the other places, the other lanes that you have to go through, and that's now you're going to talk to people about it. Find people who are doing the same thing, talk to them about it. Network with people, build your network. Look into the research will also lead you into looking into how much money you're going to need to kick it off. I have a lot of folks that, they take that $200-$300 and get an LLC and then don't understand the tax ramifications of it, or they don't understand the, what they need to do to keep the LLC, to keep, or, even the name, researching the name of the company. Someone else out there may have the name. Research your state database, your business registration database to see if someone else has the name. Reserve the name, that kind of thing. And I'm thinking, folks, I'm just thinking of what people do, like right off the jump. They have the idea, they think of a name, they design a logo. They have to put some vision to it. Even with the logo, look to see if anybody has the same logo, same name, same product. Understand if you're selling, if it's a product that you're selling, or white labeling, make sure, find out if you're exclusive to that product, or if other people have the product. If other people have the product, find out what they're doing with it, what their names, who they're marketing to. Think about who's going to buy your product, or your service.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a great idea, but, not everyone is going to think it is. Not everyone's going to like your product.
That's true.
I had a business that had a drink, and they thought everyone was going to drink this drink. And it's like, it was water. It was water. They were like, oh, we have this water. It's water. I'm like, I don't like water. So, I'm going to be back. So
it's kind of terrible.
No,
That's like taking your grandma's recipe and saying everybody's gonna like it, and then nobody likes it but you.
Exactly. So just do your research, and research will save you a lot of time and a lot of money. When you turn a blind eye to those steps, it's going to be very expensive for you. And it's going to be very expensive. So do your research. Not every idea is a business idea. And,
yes,
and not every business idea is a revenue generating idea. So you have to really do your work, research and homework on your ideas before you turn them into a business.
What is given that information, what do you think is the most critical thing that business owners don't do? That they either forget, or they don't know they have to do it, or
the research
is not needed?
The research.
Is it the research?
The research and the business planning.
Right.
Yeah, the business planning.
Now,
people, they just
is that one of the services that you offer, helping people with writing their business plan and deciding what it is that they want to do and how?
Yes, it is. Okay. And a lot of folks, they skip that part. They may write a little, executive summary pitch. Because what we do is we get the idea and we see the bigger picture, right? We can see what the product looks like. We could see, how it's going to be displayed, what stores we want to put it in. We have the vision, the vision board of all the things that we want to do, but then we have to stop and then rewind and start from the beginning and figure out that path of that journey to that vision. Right. So they skip the whole business planning piece and they go into making the product or whatever it is that they want to sell. Without looking into, like I said, doing the research, finding out your market, the financials, how much money is it going to take for you to make this, or, get a manufacturer or distributor to make it for you. And who's going to buy it? You got to look into the industry. In the industry that your idea falls in,
True.
And how that market is affected by everything, technology. So a lot of folks skip the business plan. We do help with business plan. And then business plans are living documents. A lot of people, for some reason, they're afraid to write the plan, get the idea out of their head onto paper. Mm-hmm. But it helps you, business planning helps you face the reality that you're gonna have to, that journey that you're gonna have to take. So, and it's a living document. Things will change. You could, put down, I'm gonna sell, 10 million of these things, and in year one, and then you find out you only sold 100. That's okay. You have to adjust. You have to adjust and find, find out how you're operating and adjust the way that you're doing things to reach your goals. And business plans are, the different types of business plans. You got the business plan that you could write that you can follow, for yourself as your guide. There's the business plan for the bank, and there's the business plan for the investor. So we do help folks in that area as well.
Why do you think many, especially new business owners or want to be business owners, why do you think they fear writing that plan? What's the biggest reason you think?
I think it's because they think that they have to do it exactly like they write it.
Right.
Like you put it down on paper, like I have to do that in order to make it work. But if you're not doing the research will kind of alleviate some of those fears, because you can see, okay, well, someone has done this in this state, right? And these were the steps that they took to make it happen. And it can kind of, like I said, alleviate some of the fears in writing it, but they feel that they have to do it the way that they write it. And that's not necessarily true. It's just a guide. A business plan is a guide. I have an ebook on business planning called Don't Dream It, Plan It.
Yes.
It's on the website. It's like a beginner's guide to business planning. And it explains all of that. And I guess I could do the plug. It's on the website at kgibsonllc.com. And get the ebook. So it's only $9.99. That could be your first investment on building your business.
That's right.
So, but yeah, it's just a guide. And I think folks feel like they have to do every little step that they put down, or they're just not confident. They don't have the confidence to carry out what they put down, on paper. But it's okay. I tell folks, just get it out your head, put it on paper. If it doesn't look right, get help. This is why we have consultants and coaches. If you're not feeling a certain way about it, or you need assistance with it, get the help that you need. Invest in your business by getting the help you need. But, by people that have done it, been there, done that. Some folks like to learn their business trial by error, but like I said, that can get costly. A lot of people that come is like, oh, I spent money on this, or I got money on that, and they didn't do the research. The first thing I asked them is, did you write a plan? Do you have some? They don't have a plan, or they'll buy a business plan. That's another thing.
Really? That's interesting.
And people that buy a business plan, or pay someone, get a Fiverr or someone to write a business plan for them. That's templated. And what they'll do is go in and just change the name, put the name of the company in. However, when you are talking to investors and banks and people about your business, and you have a plan that's templated, you have to be able to translate what's in that plan in your pitch, or in your elevator pitch, right?
Right.
So if you have numbers and things that are templated for you, and they're not aligned with what you really need, you're going to find yourself in a bind. I've had some clients that have done that. Oh, I have a business plan, and I could take one look at it and show that see that it's a template. Because the first thing I'll do is ask them a question about the financials. And they're like, oh, I don't know. Somebody wrote it for me. It's like, so when we do business plans, we work with the client step by step through it. Because if we have to write, we do write business plans for folks, but we have to get information from you. Same like with the grant writing, right. We have to get information from you in order to write the proposal for you. So we're going to ask you questions. We're going to pull that information from you and, make you think about, your business. That way you're able to, translate it and, get it out your head, into, out of your mouth, and to the people that can actually fund your business, or help you build your business. And if you're not aware of those financials and how much you need, and, how much things cost, and the same for nonprofits, we do the business planning and strategic planning for them. And we've had groups that folks will come, investors, donors will come to them and say, "Hey, how much do you need for this project?" And the answer will be something like, "Oh, I don't know, maybe 50,000."
Around.
Around 50,000, right? But
Yeah.
right, the person that's asking you has more to give, and so
Right.
you're not being aware of how much you need. Can actually, you could put your nose to spite your face with all, with by not knowing. So,
Yeah.
work with the client to go, step by step, so they understand each piece: the marketing, the technology, the numbers, step by step. And it's your business, right? So
Right.
you'll be more, and that's where the fear will kind of, be alleviated a little bit, because your business, what your goals are, what you need for it, um, and you'll know what works and what won't work. What will work and what won't work.
Yeah. I can tell you the first time I wrote a business plan for myself, I didn't know what I was doing really. Um, and I was afraid of it because I didn't know what I wanted to do with my business. I just knew I wanted to have one. I always wanted to work for myself my whole life, growing up. And so I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. And I was hoping through writing the business plan, I would become more targeted and more, more intentional, more knowing more about what I wanted to do. It did end up helping me, but I rewrote that plan about 3 or 4 more times before I got it to where I needed to get it. And I did have to get someone to help me eventually who had been in business for years and knew all about writing business plans. And I even think I even asked you. Yeah, I did ask you. I did ask you. Yeah, it was you and my friend Ursula, because you guys know about a business plan. And I just was like, what is this? I know I had to have one. Being in marketing myself, I knew I had to have a business plan in addition to a marketing plan. But it was tough for me. So that's why I asked that question, because I thought I wasn't alone in that fear. But it was mostly because I didn't know, just being unsure. I
Right.
didn't know how to ask anybody to help me at the time until I finally asked you. So, so thank you, Keesha. But do you have any? Being a solopreneur is very different than being part of a team that works together, or an owner with staff and employees and so forth. It's a whole different ballpark. What what would be a tip that you would give to a person who wants to start as a solopreneur? Do you have any tips specifically for a solopreneur?
Um, I think start with, if you talk about someone that doesn't know what they want to do, they just, they have to think about why they want to be an entrepreneur. What is it about entrepreneurship that, what's attracting them to be an entrepreneur?
Mhm.
Um, is it to make, more money, to have an extra stream of income? Is it to, build something and, sell a business? What is it? What are the drivers that's making them want to be an entrepreneur? And then also look at the things that they like to do. What are the things that they're passionate about? If you don't know what you want to do, think about the things that you're passionate about, the things that will drive you to the things that will drive you to fulfill those passions that you have. So if you have a passion for helping people, I get that a lot. I always want to help people. Okay, help people, because you could help people by going to a community center next door to your home and just help. So what is it? What kind of help do you want to do? If you enjoy cooking, or if you enjoy even if it's your hobby, if you enjoy cooking or baking, and you want to start something there. Um, Look at those things first, and again, do your research and plan. Because once you get it out of your head, how you're going to do those things or sell those things, um, it'll be a little easier. for you. But always start with what you're passionate about, because that'll keep you going. And the ups and downs, and business and things are slow, and not going the way you want them to go, because that will happen. In business, your passion will keep you going, especially if you're passionate about what you do. You'll keep going.
It's good advice. Good advice. It's also different working for yourself as an entrepreneur than working in corporate America too, working for someone else.
Oh,
Helping them realize their dream versus realizing your own. That's how I look at entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
What's the biggest difference in making that change from working for someone else to working for yourself?
For me, I took that same energy that I had, in helping the organizations do their thing. But it's one of the reasons why you have to have a mission and vision for your company, so people can have buy-in. So I made sure when I was working 9 to 5, I was passionate about the causes and the organizations that I was working for. That actually helped me. I just knew that I could, in doing this business, I could help more people. I could work with more people than, sitting behind a desk for another company. And it's kind of hard to see how what you do leads to success of people outside those corporate walls. So working together, working as a team is great. You have to know how to work with people, but it's always for the bigger cause. It's for the business. And even when working for yourself, it's for the business. It's not, we sometimes have to change our mindset around fulfillment, our own personal fulfillment, and the success of the business. So if you want your business to be successful and you want to, for the greater good, there's just certain things that you have to take the I out the picture. And it's for us, it's a we thing, not an I thing. And for me, it was kind of liberating, because I was always doing this. And then when I decided, I just don't want to do this 9 to 5 thing anymore. I could take the same energy, same passion, same drive that I have for working with this organization to, helping the people that I really want to help, and, and making money that way, if not more, than what the company was making. So, but yeah, it was scary. It was scary. I mean, to tell the truth, that's the reality of it. It's scary when you jump ship, because you're secure, you're secure in your job. You have a 9 to 5, you're secure, you got the benefits, you got someplace to go every day, get all your time. And then to jump and not have that safety net, it's it's hard. But like I said, you have to have the passion and the drive for it to say, okay, or set yourself up while you're working your 9 to 5. Set that safety net up, build it out, so you can jump into the safety net of your business. There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, just think what would have happened if you never made that jump. If you never made that jump, all of this Gibson consulting and solutions would not be here right now.
Right.
So glad you made that jump. What's your vision over the next 5 to 10 years for your business?
Well, 10 years from now, I'm hoping to be retired.
Okay.
Retired.
Right.
Kind of, I would like to probably sell the business. The model that I use is really good. I just want to, share in that. So there may be some franchise opportunity with how I'm running the business, or, growing it so it could be like a well-oiled machine and just do its thing, and probably focus more on the family business too, in that. Um, so that's the plan, to focus more on the family business and build Gibson Consulting and Solutions in a way where other folks can, use the model to help other businesses.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, Keesha. I'm turning this back over to Dennis.
Thank you.
Yes, we have another fan question.
Okay.
He said that if you have 15 people and 13 are giving you 100% and 2 are bull jiving, how do you deal with that?
Okay, that's a loaded question, and I have more questions for that.
In the loads.
Yeah, I know, right? So, if this person was a client, I would ask this question: what are the roles of the 2 people that are bull jiving? How long have they been there? Are they new? Have they been there a long time? They need to find out why they bull jiving. What's the reason behind the bull jiving?
Okay.
Is it that they don't, is the job, are they bored with their jobs? Is it a job that they're just doing? I always tell leaders, they have to look at, when you hire people, you're not going to have get 100% from everyone, right? But if you could find out from those employees, what is it about their jobs that they're either not happy with or don't understand. Because usually we give people jobs. They do the job, they're in and out. You have people that just do that. I do a job and I do what I got to do and I go. And there may be some areas that those 2 people that they can actually, as a leader, can pull out of them, and they may have to move them into another part of the company where they can be successful. Now, that's like providing them with like training, maybe have to do a little hand holding or thing like that. But you got to set boundaries, give them 2 to 3 months to get it together. And in that 2 to 3 months, do all that you can to help them do better. And if they can't come through, then, kind of say bye.
Mike might have to cut them off.
Huh?
Might just have to cut them off. Sometimes you gotta look at
it. But do your best as a leader to give them the resources and communicate with them and find out what it is that you can do as a leader to help them do their job better. That lets them know that they're not doing a good job. You are aware of the bull job, and it's not helping the company overall. So you do your best to help them be better. And if what you do doesn't work, then let them go.
Yeah, and you know what, Keesha, that's a good point. I think that's very key. You have to ask the leader. The leader has to ask them question: am I doing all I can to cultivate this employee to do, what they're supposed to do? Have I given them all the chances? Have I given them all the tools, all the materials they need to be successful? Am I making them feel a valuable member of the team, or am I excluding them? Am I keeping them from
reaching their potential?
Right, bringing their best to the table? Are you utilizing their gifts, or are you keeping them in a vacuum and making them do this when they know they're better at this? And it's a lot to that, like you were saying.
And what's the business relationship like? That's why I said it's a loaded question, because are they your friends? Is it a business relationship, or are they your friends? Are they people that you know? Because sometimes when you work with people that you kind of lax and you let them, do whatever. Or
sometimes you work with people you like more uptight on them and trying to show that you more of a boss than people think that you are. That you'll fire your own friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah. People that do that too. That's why I use the term leader and not boss. I can't stand the term boss.
Yeah, I don't like boss, but
I can't stand
the leader.
Yeah, because that boss term can be it's oppressive for me, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
I agree with that.
taking it back. You the boss, you the master. Yes, a boss. That. No, you the leaders. When you lead, people are following, and then leaders follow too. So you also have to find out
That's
from
right.
your team, what is it that you can do better as a leader.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't find that out if you won't ask the question. As the
Exactly.
leader, you
Right.
gotta ask. You have to communicate and have real conversations with people.
Exactly. And
I
bosses
tell
don't.
this all the time. You
Some
got
bosses don't
you
do that.
yeah, you got to communicate.
Yeah.
And not be passive aggressive.
Exactly. So
Okay.
I would say nip it in the bud now before it gets worse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I hope that answered the question.
Yeah, he said it answer. He said he feel you on that when
Okay.
when he said thank you as well. Uh, I just that's a lot to it. Business is really hard. Now let me ask you this. This is my last question for you. To those people out there that got their LLCs, sitting in a file desk that just been sitting there for a while and they ain't did nothing with them.
Mm-hmm.
But they have a business plan, like they want to start a food service. They want to start a food service industry or a trucking industry. They know that they need exactly $40,000 because they did all the paperwork, math, and everything, and they think about $40,000 to hold them over for 2 months until the check comes in lucratively enough to get the thing started.
Mm-hmm.
How would you help them achieve those goals in the startup?
For those that need the money and we would have to find out where they are, what position they're in so they can get the 40,000. A lot of people think they could just go and, go get some business credit, go get a business loan. If you're a solopreneur, entrepreneur, when you start looking for funding, they look at your personal business credit first. So they just don't give you money based on the fact that you have an LLC. So my advice is to check your credit, and if it's not in a position for you to get on your credit history, not just your credit score, your credit history. I have someone on my team that can help you with that. I have a coach that can work you through to help you with your credit and your credit score. Take those steps first to build your credit so you can get your business loan or your business credit. So your personal profile has to be a certain way for you to get business credit and business loan because you are the guarantor. Now, if you have a partner, a funding partner, someone that can co-sign for you that has great credit, hey, do that as well. But if you don't, you have to get yourself into that position. Or you could partner with someone that's already in business. Subcontract with someone that's already in the trucking business and have them pay your LLC.
Okay.
Doing that as well to get started.
Well, all right. That was my last question.
Okay.
All right. So, do we got any final words? Anybody got any final words?
Final words from you, Keesha? Any
Oh,
final thoughts?
Oh no, thank you. Thank you for this invitation. I really enjoyed myself talking to you guys. You had a lot of questions today.
Well, you're a very interesting and knowledgeable person. So
a lot of questions.
I actually had more questions.
Really?
But I'm trying to keep it, But yeah, I just tell everybody where they can follow you and find you.
Sure. So the website is kgibsonllc.com. That's KGIBSONLLC.com. On Instagram is gibson.consulting. And on Facebook, it's K Gibson LLC. You can find me there. I'm also on LinkedIn under Keesha Gibson. It's Keesha with 2 E's.
That's right. Keesha with 2 E's. I did folks who are listening, I did put her web address in the comments and I'll put it in there again.
And the family business site is rgpent.com. And we're also on Facebook and Instagram. And the shoe line is Atlas KTWS. That's on Instagram as well.
The shoes are dope, y'all. I mean, they are really nice. That's why I work so hard, so I can try to get me a pair of them shoes. I got to get a pair. They are really nice. I mean, really.
Yeah, he's working really hard. He's working really hard. Yeah. Yeah, we're not trying to be like, the Yeezys of the world. But,
no.
Black owned, black design, black design brand.
Oh,
yeah. So, yeah, I'm excited for him. I'm really excited for him. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, my final, I like to leave people with, some positive words at the end of the show, Keesha. So here's one of my final thoughts, Dennis and Keesha, for today. There we go. All right. First of all, tell someone that they're a beautiful human being. Everybody needs to be told that they're beautiful. And it doesn't necessarily have to mean physical appearance. It can mean inside. But people need to hear that. It's a lot of negativity out in the atmosphere. So put some positivity in it and let people know you're a beautiful human being, flaws and all. Flaws and all. That's the thing. It doesn't matter what your flaws are. You're still loved. And also the second thing is make sure that you don't keep letting those old bad habits hold you back. Get rid of those old bad habits. Recognize what they are and stop letting them hold you back. I posted that on my Facebook page this morning. So what about you, Dennis? What are your final thoughts for the day?
Don't be afraid to start over. Do not be afraid to start over. And I mean that in everything, not just, that raggedy relationship that you in. Yeah, I said it. But don't be afraid to start over with a new job, entrepreneurship. Not be afraid to start over, all right? There's something better out there for you. That's what I'm going to say.
Ditto. Yeah.
Ditto. Thank you, Sheila, Sister Sheila, for the 50 stars.
Yes, thank you, Sister Sheila. And I wanted to say God bless. Great day.